How's it going, guys? CrackedRack here. Today I thought we'd do a fun little video discussing the drugs I've done and what I would rank them on a tier list. I should also mention I have many years of experience doing drugs, researching drugs. At one point I wanted to become a pharmacist, so I have a lot of experience with drugs, and I have a big tier list here full of all sorts of drugs, and we're just gonna rank them. Most of the drugs on this list I have done, some I have not. You'll see which ones soon. Quick word from our sponsor though, you like smoking fucking pot? You want to get your vibes right? Well, click the link in the description. Alright, in this list I have a big pile of drugs. A big pile of beautiful drugs. And in the categories we have love it, give me every day. This would be a drug that I, want to use like in the morning or at night, probably every day. Love it, give me it occasionally. This would be a drug that I don't really like that much, like enough to where I want to feel it in my body every day. But, I might do it quite a bit because it's fun. And then there's decent, but not every day, which is more like, maybe like a social activity or event. I might utilize this drug, but otherwise avoid it at all costs. And then there's meh, which is just like, if it's all I have, okay. Otherwise, no. And then there's no thanks, will reject, which basically means, if I'm offered this drug in a party setting or anything like that, I will reject it because no thanks. I don't hate it. I won't judge you for using it, but I don't want it. And then there's I hate this drug / this drug is gross. This is a drug that I just don't want to do. I think it has bad people associated with it. I think the experience itself is nauseating and bad. I think it's hard to get, just stuff like that. And then there's visceral reaction, which is a drug that I hate so much that I will have a little bit of a tantrum if offered it. And then there's never tried / no desire to try, which I pretty self-explanatory. Okay, up first is Benadryl. I fucking hate Benadryl. I have abused it quite a bit. I started abusing it when I was probably about 13 to 14. I always had a bunch of it in my house, and no one really knew about its properties back then. At least it wasn't like super common knowledge, and I would dick around with the pills a lot. I would just take a few more than I probably should to go to bed, because I was bored, I didn't really have anything else to do, so I was like, whatever. And then I discovered if I took a lot of them, it gives you like a hallucinogenic effect, similar to like LSD. So for a while there, when I was about 15, for a good few months straight, I took a shit ton of these things. I took like 30 in one sitting a lot of the time, and would have the wildest trips of my life. I would be seeing Hellraiser demons coming through the floor. I'd be seeing ghosts of like dead relatives giving me like motivational speeches, and I would think it was real. Absolutely insane. However, it kind of lost its edge after a while and started making me really sick. So I started just feeling really nauseous and sad and sick, and my hallucinations stopped being cool and started becoming dangerous. And I got hospitalized for it a couple of times, and it was just really icky. And it's just not an experience I ever intend on repeating. So Benadryl, I'm gonna put it in I hate this drug. This drug is gross. I wouldn't have a visceral reaction if offered a bunch of it. No, I hate this shit. I will never take another Benadryl ever again in my life. Alright, next up is ketamine, which I'm gonna put in decent but not every day. Look, I'll be real with you. I love ketamine. I've done it a few times, medically. I've been given medically induced ketamine for depression a few times, and it's amazing. It's really amazing. I really like it. It basically forces like a section of your brain that's like responsible for all of the anxiety to calm down and just shut down. Like, it doesn't give it an option. It doesn't just tame your brain or calm it down. It shuts that shit down, and it feels great. It achieves a perfect mind-brain balance that you wish you could always have, but you can't, because that's not reality. And it's great, but it's not healthy for you, I'm sure. It's extremely expensive. It's hard to get. It's kind of unsafe to use. All in all, pretty great, but it doesn't have any long-lasting effects. It's not that healing. Next up, we have mushrooms. I have never tried mushrooms, ever, and I have no desire to try them, actually. I've known a lot of people who do mushrooms, And they're crazy. They're fucking crazy. I've known like 6 people now in my life who did mushrooms frequently, and literally every single last one of them went fucking insane and are either now missing, dead, or might as well just be homeless. Mushrooms are very powerful. I have no interest in general in hallucinogenics. I don't care about them. I don't like them. I like being in control of like my reality and my consciousness. I don't like this whole take you on a spiritual roller coaster thing. That's why I'll never try DMT, which is not even on the list. But yeah, no desire to try mushrooms. Not to mention, they just look nasty to consume, and I think you throw up after taking them, which is just very uncomfortable. No thank you. Next, we have fentanyl, which, I'm gonna be honest, was kind of okay. I'm gonna put it in the meh category. Now, when did I have fentanyl? Well, there's 3 times I've had fentanyl. There are 3 surgical and doctor procedures and operations that I had where they gave me like an anesthesia of fentanyl. And I'm gonna be honest, it was kind of sweet. I'll say this much, it fucking killed me. It literally fucking killed me. I remember one time I had like a drip in my arm of fentanyl, and the nurse was like, this drip isn't very powerful. You might not even feel anything, and you might actually feel the whole surgery. And I was freaking out. I was like, no, no, no. I was really fucking freaking out, and she was laughing. And then all of a sudden I woke up, and I was in a fucking hospital bed, and I had no idea what had happened, and like 4 hours had passed. So the moral of the story here is fentanyl will fucking kill you. It will knock you on your ass, but it was kind of a nice feeling. I didn't hate it. I wasn't miserable or anything like that. Oxycontin, no thanks, will reject. I've taken it once, and it was not my prescription, it was someone else's, and they gave me one, and it made my blood pressure feel horrible. I felt like a wispy ghost. I didn't feel good at all. I felt kind of nauseous, and I had to take a massive dump afterwards, and my anxiety wasn't even that gone. I mean, it was, but like I didn't have any energy either. So there was really not that much payoff there. I didn't have any fun on it, but it wasn't like the worst or anything. Okay, cocaine. Visceral reaction. I hate cocaine. I've never done it, but I have seen people around me do it. I once had roommates who would party with like people as young as 15, and they would come in and they would do cocaine. So I just have very awful associations with cocaine. It just makes me think of really scummy fucking people. Again, I've never tried it, but I've seen other people do it. I've known a person who died abusing cocaine. Cocaine is awful. I have no desire to use it or be a part of it or anything. The idea of just sniffing powder basically like into my heart directly just sounds awful. No thank you. I will never take cocaine. I feel like my life will be really good as long as I avoid cocaine. Next is Kratom. I hate Kratom. I don't know why everyone loves it so much. It's fucking disgusting. It makes me vomit in the toilet every time I do it. Okay, let me give you some reasons I hate Kratom. 1, it's fucking expensive. I don't remember how much it is exactly. It's been a while since I've done it, but it's like not that cheap. Second off, it tastes like shit. It's disgusting. It tastes like raw green tea, but really, really strong. And it's just icky. It makes me throw up every time I put it in my mouth. It's so fucking nasty. Kratom is gross. I don't like it. Every time I take it too, it makes me feel okay sometimes, but then I just feel nauseous and have to like lay down. And not to mention, it gives me a massive headache. And I guess it does relieve some stress and anxiety sometimes, but for the most part, Kratom I'm gonna be avoiding for probably the rest of my life. I have no desire to try it again. All right, next up is MDMA. No thanks, I will reject. I have tried it before, a long time ago in Portland, Oregon, with friends, but I don't like it. Once again, I don't like not being in control of like my feelings or like my body or like my emotions. I don't like feeling too elevated with my mood or anything like that. That really just creeps me out. And that's kind of what MDMA does. I also don't like how much dopamine it fucking releases into your brain at once, because the next morning you usually feel absolutely awful. It's also just really bad for your heart. I will say it had some pretty good benefits for my mental health after I took it for like a few weeks afterwards. I felt a lot better in general, but I have no intention to do it again. It's also just too much of a day hog. It'll hog up your whole day, and you can't really do anything else. So yeah, MDMA, just no thanks. Keep it away from me. Next up is PCP. Never tried. I have no desire to try it. I have had a neighbor who used PCP, and that guy can go die. I don't care about PCP. I have nothing to even say about it. Same with crack. Never tried, no desire to try it. I've known crackheads my whole life. Awful people. They look disgusting. They smell disgusting. They think in disgusting ways. They're not mature. Just, I could go on and on and on. Fuck crack. It's disgusting. Next up is heroin. Visceral reaction. I've never done heroin. I've seen a person do heroin before in my life. Live. Little live performance there. No, I have no desire to do heroin, and if you offer it to me, I will slap you in the face. Or if I catch you doing it, I will beat you up, because heroin is fucking horrible for you. Injecting shit into your body is awful. I mean, regardless of if you IV it, or if you snort it, or smoke it, or whatever you do, heroin is just awful for you. I wouldn't want to use it because it's basically just being dead. That's like all heroin is. You're just a dead person. I might do heroin once someday if it's in like a clinical setting. If there's some kind of like recreational heroin in the future, I could do like a video about that. But that's about the only time I could ever see myself ever going near heroin. All right, next up is acid. I'm gonna put it in the no thanks category because I've never tried it. And like I said, I don't really like hallucinogens very much. I've seen what it does to people and it's not good. I'm down to try it someday, but I don't want to. Once again, I don't like not being in control of my consciousness. I want to feel completely in control at all times. Alright, next up we have Adderall. And I'm going to be honest, decent. It was decent. I like Adderall. It's not something I'm ever going to get again or ever going to do again because it's really bad for your heart. It's so bad for your heart. It's so bad for your body, too. And not to mention, the hangovers and come downs are awful. I'd honestly rather just die than have a serious Adderall come down. But I will say, I remember those days that I was taking it, and man, just waking up on a nice sunny day when it's really hot outside, popping one of those bad boys after eating some eggs, and just feeling like the fucking Incredible Hulk. Just feeling absolutely incredible, feeling like I could do absolutely anything. Feeling my heart pump, absolutely whatever I wanted to do. I just felt so empowered. I felt great. I really felt incredible. I was having so much fun when the short period that I was taking Adderall XR. However, it caught up to me and eventually gave me like a mini heart attack type thing, and I had to stop using it. And that was a couple of years ago, and it's just not good for me, so I'm not going to do it anymore. But it was a good time, I'll say that much. All right, next up are antidepressants, or Prozac. Visceral reaction, no thanks. I have been hospitalized for the akathisia as a result of these things. Those drugs are fucking evil. Fucking evil. Alright, what is this drug? What is this? Oh, Zoloft. Oh, okay, so, Zoloft. Okay, Zoloft is okay. It gives me a lot of relief, I guess, from anxiety, but it also gives me major headaches, and it makes me feel kind of sluggish and tired. Other than that, it's okay. It does, I have some emotional instability, and it kind of calms that a lot and makes me more focused and calm. So I appreciate Zoloft for what it is. Next up is alcohol. I'm going to be honest, I love it. Give it to me occasionally. Now, that being said, I am going through a no alcohol period right now. I'm trying to not drink any alcohol for maybe like a year or two. But damn, when I'm having a bad day, there is absolutely nothing on the planet that makes me happier than going home, lighting up a blunt, and playing a video game or watching a YouTube video while drinking a scotch and just feeling my worries fade away. So yes, I love it, but only occasionally, not every day. I used to drink every day, and man, that shit is brutal. Okay, next up we have meth. No. will reject. First off, I think meth heads are disgusting. I think they're unhygienic and filthy and look like shit and just do gross shit and are scummy and have shitty behavior. And it also destroys lives and children's lives and ugh. But not just that. The feeling of it seems awful. I've never smoked meth, but I've known people, obviously, who have. I've seen people smoke meth before. I've been in a room with people who were currently smoking meth. And yes, meth is awful. From what I've heard and what I've seen, it just makes your heart beat really fast, like way too fast. You're super paranoid and worried about things, which I guess is like a rush for some people. You're super on edge and alert. That's like the feeling you get from it, I guess. And no thanks, I hate all of those things. I don't enjoy any of those things. I like being calm and more like numb rather than hyped up like that. Okay, next up is laughing gas, and I did it once after a root canal, and I don't even remember it. I don't remember what I did or how I operated. I have like little flashbacks, but it like wasn't like one of those funny YouTube videos. I just drove home and I didn't know what I did. Apparently I said a bunch of gibberish. It put me out okay, I guess. I can't say I have any complaints about laughing gas. Alright, next up is a bit of a controversial opinion. Purple drink. I love it. I'm sorry, I really, really do. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put it in decent, but not every day. Purple drink satisfies so many things in my life. Now, keep in mind, I've only done it a handful of times in my life. Very spread out, because purple drink is very bad for you. Like, very, very bad for you. I'd almost say it's worse for you than meth. But man, the taste is just so ice cold and relaxing and sweet. The feeling is so nice. You just feel so light, carefree, and painless. It's a great feeling, but the hangover is awful, not just because of the intoxicants, but the amount of sugar that's in lean is ridiculous. So yeah, don't do it. It's really bad for you. And also, if you get like the wrong kind of codeine or lean that has a specific chemical in it that you didn't even realize was there, your kidneys and liver can just shut the fuck down in a second. So don't try it at home. I was in a position where I was trying it under the supervision and under the purchase guidance of a very wealthy older person. So I had like some kind of, you know, protections there, I guess, but just don't try it. It's not good for you, and it's not going to end well. Next up is Ambien. I love Ambien. Now, I don't do it as much anymore because it's not very good for you. But oh my god, I wish I could do it every day. It's just fucking perfect. I look forward to it every single time I take it. Essentially, it's a sleeping pill. You take it. You're just minding your own... Let's say you're doing homework and shit, like college work. It's like 11 o'clock. You got to go to bed. You take your Ambien, maybe you smoke a bowl or something, you sit there for about 15-20 minutes, and then boom, you just get hit with this unbelievable bliss. Like, you just don't feel any problems, any worry, any sadness. You just feel really, like, happy and good and calm for about 15-20 minutes, and then after that, boom, you're out. You're sleeping. And then you'll usually wake up about 8 hours later feeling just fine, as if you really had a full sleep. So Ambien is a miracle drug. It's also not even that bad for your heart, so not that bad. Next up are benzos, and honestly, I don't like them. I'm gonna reject them if ever given them. I think Ambien's a benzo. I'm not exactly sure. It may or may not be. But in general, I'm talking about things more like, you know, Xanax. These things are really bad for you. Like, really, 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 really bad for you. They get you heavily addicted. And you can get some serious neurological problems from abusing them for even a short period of time. And they also build a tolerance very quickly, so you have to take more and more and more. All in all, not a very good choice. They really just make me tired and frankly nauseous. And then I get a really bad hangover and come down, so I have no interest in benzos at all. Next up are antipsychotics, which I think Zoloft is, but like not the kind I'm talking about. I'm talking about your Latudas, your olanzapines, things like that. I've been on so many of these things and they all fucking suck. They've put me in the ER time and time again. I hate these things. They can go to hell. I want nothing to fucking do with them. Okay, next up is dab wax, and honestly, I'm gonna say I hate it. I hate dab wax. Dab wax is expensive, it's hard to use, it's hard to smoke, you have to have a bunch of fucking setup for it that's like ridiculous. It's hard on your throat, it's really easy to overdose on. I mean, I've done just the tiniest bits of dab wax and just felt fucking sick to my stomach, feeling like I was on crystal meth. Just absolutely awful. I do not like dab wax at all. Next up is marijuana. Love it. Give me it every day. I love marijuana. I don't like really super strong marijuana. I like light, mild, easy marijuana. There's nothing better than waking up in the morning on a Saturday when you have nothing to do and just indulging in some bong hits. It's fucking incredible. Everyone should do it. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Now, very lastly here, I have THC crystals, which I'm gonna put in the meh category, because once again, same problem I have with dab wax. It gets me too high too quickly. It's expensive, and it's kind of just a hassle and an annoyance to set up, and it's really harsh on your throat. So all in all, here we go, guys. Here is the entire tier list. From start to finish here, we have, for the give me every day, Ambien and pot. For the give me occasionally, we have alcohol. For the decent, we have, but like not very frequently, we have ketamine, we have Adderall, and we have lean, which I don't recommend you do at all. And then we have meh, which is stuff like Zoloft, laughing gas, THC crystals. I forgot what that is. And then there's the no thanks, where, you know, if you offer it to me, I'm just gonna say no. I won't be an asshole about it or anything. Benzos, blech, and meth. Double blech. And then we have I hate this, I will reject this as hard as I can. So we have Benadryl, Kratom, and dab wax. Blech, those can go to hell. And then we have the visceral reaction part, which is... And then we have the visceral reaction, which, you know, has your antipsychotics, your Prozacs, your heroines, your cocaines. No thank you. And then we have the never tried, which is PCP, crack, and mushrooms. So all in all, hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is a very long video. And yeah, that's all for today. See ya.